when saying no means saying yes. So, welcome to episode 10. Um, I want to explore how we can say no. That actually means that we're saying yes. And I'd love to share a recent event that happened a few weeks ago. I was getting my boiler service. So, as many of us do, we have a yearly service booked in. And my husband said to me that it needed to be, there was only limited times that he could pick. And one of the times was when I was at home and he was going to be in the office at work. So he asked me if that was okay that time. And I said, yes, that's fine. Pop it in my calendar, pop it in my diary, put it everywhere. I like to know when things are planned, and I need to have that in my schedule because obviously, if I have a meeting or working around things, then it just it's no good for me to be doing things last minute. And so I had this all planned, and then what happened was the day before he called, and I don't think he managed to get in touch with my husband, but he said that he would be in the area, and rather than coming at the time that he was booked in for, he wanted to come earlier. Okay. And that completely changed. Like that meant he was actually at my door at 8:30. I literally just got my kids off to school and I hadn't even done my morning routine. So as soon as the kids go, I have a morning routine and I do that from about sort of 8:30. I might do some sort of tidying up and then I'll do my morning routine. And that means that I can start work sort of just after 9, maybe 9:15 at the latest. And that suits me absolutely fine. My morning, I am ready to go. And my mornings are the most precious for me because I know I'm really focused. And what happened was that when he came, he just threw my morning into chaos because he came at 8:30. I hadn't done my routine. I hadn't done anything, so I wasn't even prepared. Didn't have enough time to plan for this. So I was like, I couldn't remember what I was supposed to do because my head was going into a bit of a, did I have anything on that I had to do like right away in the next couple of hours? And meanwhile, I couldn't just leave him and walk away either. So I had to kind of be around and help him to see what he needed and give him access to everything. He wasn't really here for that long, but by the time he left, it was 9:30. And I was like, do I do my morning routine or do I just start work? And I started working because I felt guilty that I hadn't started. And I also felt a bit my brain needed like to see what it was that I needed to do in case I was missing something. So I switched my computer on and I got straight into it, got set up, and 10:30, I realized that I haven't done my morning routine. Something doesn't feel right. I just don't feel right. So I actually that's when I changed my day and I stopped myself and I got my yoga mat out and I did my routine. I did all the things that I normally do. And then I went back to work. And it totally messed my morning up because that was not expected. And I think it's so important when things can just happen. And this is just a boiler service, this is nothing major, but it goes to show when we're planning for things and we want to see things done in a certain way, and that doesn't happen, then it can sort of throw us into a bit of a frenzy, especially in our brain. And if when the person had called to ask, is it okay that I come? He called, I think, a couple of times to my husband, but by the time he called the second time, he felt like he couldn't say no because he was literally, I'm just, nearby and I'm going to come in, um, which wasn't very, very good. But if I had turned around and said, well, actually, no, this does not suit me, and you need to come tomorrow at the time that had been arranged, then saying that no, then might have felt heavy and really difficult because we don't like to be confrontation. We don't like to, but at the end of the day, when we make plans, especially things like this, we've already made a booking. We are the customer and we're not getting treated fairly, are we, when we're getting thrown about in this way? The whole point of booking something is that they know and you know when it is that it's arranged for. Yeah. Now, when that isn't the case and it's kind of thrown into, it's fine. It's easy for him because he's in the area, but it doesn't necessarily suit everybody. And I now know that I'm not going to let that happen again, because that's just allowing things that are in our control to then take over, because there's plenty of things that can happen that are not in our control. And those things we do need to sometimes change things and reprioritize. But by not wanting to say no, it kind of keeps us a little bit stuck. And if I had then said no, or there was a way that, he'd called me, for example, and I said, well, actually, no, it would have felt a little bit uncomfortable because, he's coming and doing the services, asking nicely that if he could come today. And I would have felt bad. But it really goes to show that we shouldn't be feeling bad, because if we then say no, what we're really doing is saying yes to everything that we do have planned, everything that we have intention for, everything that we know we want to put our focus into. And when we want to be that focused, we need to say no to the other things. Otherwise, we're allowing them to come into our world and sort of cause distractions, change things for us that we don't want. So it would be good for you to think about this. Perhaps that something similar has happened to you. Perhaps it's a different sort of saying no, but knowing that when you say no, you are really just expressing that yes. You're reconfirming the thing you have already scheduled, already you've said yes to, and set some sort of intention on. So, and doing that is just so powerful, because we become laser focused, because that is our priority. And although it can feel uncomfortable, we need to get over that and really find ways to make it easier for us, and understand that behind that no, there is actually a yes. And that's a really nice way to turn it around, is to, you're not really saying no. What you're saying is that's not the right thing. And the other thing that you have already said yes to is definitely the thing that you want to focus on. So I hope that's helped. If you like this video, I will pop a link in just here. There's a recent webinar that I did, and I'd love to share that with you. Please do take a look and watch it, especially if you are looking to help more clients without working any more time and without sacrificing your own health and well-being. Then this is a really powerful. There's so many nuggets that I'm sharing with you in this, and it's just under half an hour, so it's not overly time consuming. So I hope you like that as well, and I will see you next week.